Welcome to St Mary's in Enniskeane for this Cork Senior Football Championship encounter of O'Donovan Rossa and St Michael's. Both want to get to the top tier of Cork football, and no matter what happens today, they will have the chance to fight on, but it's about the path you take. The winner basically goes straight into the semi-final, and the loser has to go into a quarter-final. Now for St Michael's, that would be a bit of a disadvantage because some of their lads will be playing hurling with Blackrock next weekend, so if they could, they'd like to avoid an extra game. Let's have a look at the teams, starting with O'Donovan Rossa. Well, they're strong and they're experienced, and I suppose in an age and an experience sense, they're maybe 2 or 3 years ahead of St Michael's. Not that Michael's are lacking either, but Dylan O'Donovan, one to watch. He's a cornerback, played for IT Carlow in the Electric Ireland Sigerson Cup. Kevin Hurley actually featured for the UCD Freshers team as well. There was some question mark as to whether or not Dylan Horahan would be able to feature, but he's over his injury and he will play. Donal O'Codnett, well, his career has been held up by injury, but he's okay now and he is in flying form. And Larry Tompkins, he'll be a player that they'll look to, won't they? I mean, he is a man who can carry O'Donovan Rossa forward.
Yeah, look, you need that bit of experience, and looking at both teams, I think Skib and St Michael's. So Skib is certainly in a big transition. A lot of those players that I probably haven't seen an awful lot of come from the underage rank. They seem to be very enthusiastic this year. I know they've done a pile of work, and of course St Michael's then on the other hand, they have been, I suppose, like a Mayo, they've been knocking on the door, but I suppose just find it that bit difficult to try and get over the line in a county final. But again, this promises to be a great game today, and really looking forward to it. I think that the prizes take a semi-final, so I think it's all guns blazing today, Oisin.
Let's have a look at the St Michael's team. There's some names that you will know in this one from hurling and football, and there's some familiar family names as well, Larry, that you'll know well. You would have played with and against some of their dads. Some of the names you'll know well: Liam Granger, the son of the famous UCC GA mentor. Andy O'Connell is in midfield, brother of Owen, of course. Andy also has played professional football. John Cashman, son of the great Jim, at fullback. But these guys are making names for themselves in their own right at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, look, isn't it great to see it? I suppose time goes quick, and again, this St Michael's team is I think they're missing about 5 or 6 that have been kind of prominent over the last couple of years. You'd say massive losses, but the influx of their underage teams they have been very successful. We have about 6, I think, from the under 21 ranks that are coming in there today, so it'll be really I think they're going to give it a real lift and a real energy, and maybe that's what Michael's needed from the last few years, maybe of the disappointment. So yes, really looking forward to seeing how the likes of John Cashman, their fullback, who as I know is playing great stuff, and of course their number 11, their Tyke DC, another very influential player. So it would be very interesting to see how the whole thing shapes up.
They've shown a lot of promise in the last couple of years. St Michael's, they've been successful at underage. They've won the county under 21. The 2019 edition, of course, they won it in 2020. It was held up due to the weather and all that. So they are very promising, and I think 8 of the team that started that under 21 final are in the starting 15 for today's match. So there's youth, but they're steely as well. Normally with young teams you think of them as being kind of weak. There's no weakness with that team, is there?
Yeah, well, you see, you look at St Michael's, and okay, there has been massive disappointment that they haven't won a county over the last few years, but you have to have massive admiration for them. They've just keep coming back, and that's just a testimony of their spirit and their camaraderie together. And as you can see here, they've an abundance of young players. They have a massive panel of players here, and as I said, missing 6 or 7 from the previous couple of years, and they're still knocking on the door. So look, if Skip do beat them today, they're gonna have to fight all the way to really get over the line against them.
Well, as big a crowd as there can be in for this one, of course, we're still under the restrictions, and while we'd love fans to be here and you'd love to be here, and we're sorry you can't be, we are glad that we can bring it to you, and we hope that you enjoy the game no matter where you're watching this from. Just seen Michael Scanlon of C103 arrive in. He's a bit of a Paul Collins of the GA world, or Phil Collins, sorry, not Paul Collins, Phil Collins, who went from one venue to another venue on the day of Live Aid, went from London to Philadelphia, or the other way around, but Michael has done something similar. He was down in Ballinascarthy for a game earlier on. He's just arrived here in Enniskeane, home of the great John Corcoran. As I look down to my right hand side, I can see his bench. And he's a man that's very much missed, a quick wit and a good GA man.
Without a doubt, I remember the day in Park Keeve, it's 30 years ago now, when he shouted for the Kerry crowd, or the doors to be locked, to keep the Kerry crowd in. We were so far ahead. So the game has started, Oisin, and you will take up the commentary.
I will indeed. Tide DC, let's fly. Just in case you're not familiar with the teams, the green and gold is St. Michael's, speaking of Kerry, and the red is O'Donovan Rossa of Skibbereen. It's City against West Cork, if you want to look at it that way. Trying to make his way through is Dan Lenihan. Mishandles it a bit, and O'Donovan Rossa will try and break down the park. Paddy Crowley on it there. But it's well turned over by St. Michael's. Well, we were saying that before the game. They are physically and mentally strong. It's opening up a bit for Tide DC. Back to DC. Can he get the goal here? Rounds the keeper. Penalty. Well, when you run at teams, you cause problems, and that's exactly what St. Michael's did there.
Well, I think it was a great move, Oisin. There was plenty of movement and very strong runners coming from midfield there, and created that chance. It looked an almost certain goal, but at least they've got a penalty now, and a massive start for St. Michael's if they put this away.
Eric Hegarty will take this. Hegarty against Ryan Price. Oh, that is a beautifully taken penalty.
Well, I don't think there's no goalie that have any chance with that, Oisin. So it was a fantastic strike. So a massive start for St. Michael's here.
So Ryan Price having a look up and go short with the kick out. They're confident enough to work it up the pitch. Owen Fitzgerald's getting his hands on it early on. Well, they've got some danger men, don't they, St. Michael's, and they've shown that already in this game. They've put up some good scores as well. Beat Ballingeary 316 to 14 points, and Ovens beat St. Nick's 215 to 1-5. So they've yet to be really challenged in a close game. Connolly
that's a fantastic
with an instant response, and that's a tough one, isn't it, coming off the left and finishing with your right?
Yeah, I think it was Michaels were a little bit asleep there from a quick free. Just left a couple of the Skib lads free, and fantastic score there. Just coming in, as you say, off the outside the foot there. I think it was from Elliot Connolly. I think it was a fantastic score.
Great stuff from Connolly. Martin Burke gives this one plenty. There is a bit of a breeze there. It is in favour of Skibbereen, but it's kind of going across the pitch rather than down it. Andy O'Connell. Referee says he put his hands up after 3 seconds. That's too long. They're trying to find a way through Skib, but that was well blocked. And then just doubled on the ground. Former Cork minor Eric Hegarty leaves it off for Adam Hennessy. All the way up is Ross Coleman. Lovely cushioned pass from Coleman. That's a really good take. He slid into that one. I think it was Adam Hennessy on that far side.
Yeah, well, what you see is a good bit of kicking and trying to find their forwards on both sides. So this promises to be a very exciting game. Some fantastic kicking and catching at the moment.
First wide of the game. It remains a 2-point gap. Price. Always looks like he has time, Price. He's very cool under pressure. Dylan O'Donovan. What an experience he had in the Sigerson Cup, getting to the final with IT Carlow. They got to the final and both, unfortunately, lost both. Jack Breen getting onto it. Beautiful conditions for football. And we were saying this is the home of the late, great John Corcoran. It's also the home of now Galway manager John Caulfield, as in Galway United in soccer. Here's Hazel. Breen. Bit of space for Breen to run into. The forwards fan out, looking for options. Horahan. Donal Logue Hodnett, the man that they want on the ball in those kind of positions, and that's why. One between them.
Yeah, that was a fantastic score there. Oisin worked right down from Ryan Price, right through, very patient, waited for their opening, and again, as you said, like getting it to the right man to put the ball over the bar. That's a fantastic score, and good comeback from the setback they had early on with the penalties. So, yeah, kick out coming out here now.
Going up to fisted as O'Keefe guides it into the path of O'Connell, who uses his soccer skills there. Liam Granger, lovely little pop pass, takes it on the return. Doesn't take it on himself, goes for the pass instead. Can it be hooked over by Owen Buckley? No. Another wide for St. Michael's. Should he have taken on the shot himself there, Granger?
Well, I think it's a very tricky breeze there, and I think in fairness to Michaels, they worked a nice move down. He was entitled to go for his shot.
Rory Byrne running onto that one. Skips it down to Donal O'Connell. Spots that his teammate had isolated one of the Michaels defenders. That's a neat turn by David Shannon, who has played inter-county football for Wexford. Oh, what a goal from David Shannon.
Absolutely.
That is the goal of an inter-county footballer, isn't it?
Well, look, you couldn't have asked for better, like with Donal O'Connell getting the ball way over on the far side of the field, and really a fantastic pass across the field. And look, what you need is a forward like that, instinctive, getting inside his man, and a rifle shot from the outside of his foot right into the corner. What a goal, what a goal.
Nothing Martin Burke could do to stop that. David Shannon, based in Enniscorthy, which is how he came to play for Wexford. And it's some journey from Wexford to Skibbereen, but, well, when you score goals like that, it's worth the journey. Referee wants a word with Shane O'Driscoll, I think.
I think it was just a little bit off the ball, tugging there. I think, yeah, he's.
It's a black card, and it's actually for Kevin Hurley.
I thought that was a bit harsh there, but there seemed to be two of them kind of just involved there. But unfortunately, he's got a black card.
So for 10 minutes, O'Donovan Rossa down to 14. Tom Lenihan. Tight DC regathers. Under real pressure here. Shane O'Driscoll chasing him down. That's a really good turn by DC. Good pass as well. He's turning, he's twisting. And he's squeezing it over the crossbar. It was Eric Egerty.
Number 15, yeah. Eric, a fantastic score there. Again, we've seen a very influential there from Tyke DC, getting the ball way over in the corner, cutting his way in, and having the vision to just put the ball across there. And look, it's what St. Michael's needed maybe after Skibbereen dominating the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Well, it's been a lightning quick start. This for the right to go on to the semi-finals or go straight to the semi-final. From everyone I've spoken to, they reckon whoever doesn't get to the semi-finals this way will go the other way, but you never know. Here's Liam Granger cutting them open again. Granger! Good block. Crowley got across there. Daly loses it under real pressure there. Dan Lenihan. Lovely ball. Hennessy from a tight enough angle.
Oh, great score.
Oh, that's a beautiful point.
Score. Like again, we see there from from both sides, like that there seems to be, when the ball is played into the full forward line, there seems to be a bit of room there. The Skibbereen backs seem to be just hanging off. And again, we've seen very influential play there from Adam Hennessy there in the full forward line, coming out, collecting the ball, and a great layoff and a fantastic score.
We're all square. All square on the scoreboard, certainly, but not on the playing numbers. Michaels with an extra man. That was a great catch by Billy Kane. Mark O'Keefe, who'll be part of the hurling crew for Black Rock next weekend. That was a lovely ball. I thought it was a bit blind by Hegarty, but in fairness to him, he knew exactly where he was putting it. Andy O'Connell. Out it goes from Hennessy. The shot from centre-back Daniel Meany, who measures that one perfectly. It's in the blood with Daniel Meany, isn't it?
I think that's, in fairness, like the control of St. Michael's there and working the ball from left to right, and then just waiting their chance for the right person to come along. And a great score by the centre-back there. Probably not typical that you'd want to maybe backs to be able to score that frequently, but like certainly he was very comfortable there and getting that score, and a fantastic score for St. Michael's to put them one ahead.
Their striking of the ball is beautiful, isn't it?
Sure, look, it's in fairness to both teams, the kicking and the kick-out's a real good fought hard game around the middle of the field, and St. Michael's at the moment are getting on top again here.
Ross Coleman. Hegarty. I think the manager, Dave Egan, will be delighted with what he's seen so far. Former Offaly player, Dave Egan, still playing for his club, Offaly St. Bridget's. Long ball inside, collected wonderfully by Adam Hennessy. He's given a penalty.
Yeah, he is.
Well, the reaction to it was so mute, I had to take a second to think about it myself as to whether or not he had given a penalty.
Well, he put his hands out. Yeah, he did. I'm not sure now. Is he having second thoughts? There seems to be some.
He put his hands out, but he didn't commit to it. No,
he's throwing the ball up. Yeah,
he's throwing it up.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're as confused on the Michaels bench, which is right under us as we are up here. They'll try and get the score nonetheless. Ross Coleman. They're not afraid to bring the ball into the tackle, are they? They're physically strong. That one is half volleyed away. But it's a green and gold jersey that's waiting for it. Billy Kane. In it goes from Hegarty, who's popping up everywhere. That's a good take. Moves it to the man running off the shoulder. Almost rescued. In fact, the break does go St. Michael's way.
Great goal.
What a finish. It's been a goal-scoring weekend for the O'Connells. His brother scored for Rochdale under Brian Barry Murphy. Now Andy has got on the score sheet as well.
What a goal. And we're three hit to some fantastic scores here and some brilliant goals, like from first from the penalty spot was a magnificent goal, and of course the Skibbereen goal then, as we talked about there earlier, was another gem, and here we have another fantastic goal from St. Michael's. And look, St. Michael's are really, really on top now, and if they can keep on top here enough, Skibbereen could be in a bit of trouble.
2-3 plays 1-2. Skibbereen still down to 14 men as Rory Byrne comes forward. Standing completely unmarked is David Shannon, if they can see him. Donald O'Connell goes himself. Now Ross Coleman drops back on Shannon. Rory Byrne. It's risky. And it's wide into the Enniskeane end of the ground.
Yeah, I think as we see there, I think from a Skibbereen point of view and attack, I think that St. Michael's look a little bit more comfortable at the back, whereas when St. Michael's attack, I think the Skibbereen backs are over the place at the moment. So certainly St. Michael's look far more threatening going forward, and Skibbereen are having a few difficulties there trying to get a few openings up front. So an interesting game. So a short kick out here now from St. Michael's.
And 4 more minutes for Skibbereen to play on with just 14. Shane O'Driscoll, black carded. It's opening up again for St. Michael's. Skipping ball to Liam Granger. Their movement from left to right, the wing forwards, it's really impressive. Yeah. Buckley slips, loses possession and tries to get a teammate onto it, but Crowley is there to take it up. Owen Fitzgerald. Rory Byrne. Moving it through the hands, Dylan Horahan. Kicks it over towards Darren Daly. Darren Daly actually leaves it off for Daniel Hazel. Connolly runs onto it. That's some pace by Connolly. Into the hands of Hegarty. Hegarty pops it off. Darren Daly. Back it goes to Donald O'Connell. Paddy Crowley. Space there for Sean Fitzgerald to run into. He lets go and drags it wide.
Yeah. As you can see there, Oisin, like the slow build-up from Skibbereen, and you have John Cashman who's playing very cute there, you know, just falling back, covering that space very well. And St. Michael's again built from the back here, and short kick out here again.
Adam Hennessy. Ross Coleman runs onto it. Inside to the fullback, John Cashman, who'd come a long way from home. And he continues his run. He wants it back, but it goes to Liam Granger instead. Granger's got Owen Buckley beside him. Goes back to John Cashman. Eric Hargitty. Jinks around Dylan O'Donovan. Andy O'Connell. That's a lovely kind of half-volley volleyball style pass. But the move won't end in a score. 3 wides now for St. Michael's. So, they'll be happy enough with 2-3, but it could and probably should have been more. 2-3 to 1-2 the score at the moment.
Yeah, I think
as we go into the water break.
Yeah, they're at the water break here. I think St. Michael's have to be very happy with that performance there in the first quarter. They have been the most influential team. They're certainly more composed at the back, and they're building it from the back, and they're certainly making it very difficult for Skibbereen to try and have any easy attacks. And plus, I think with St. Michael's there, that they're running and to be able to link up, particularly from midfield, even their half-backs there, we've seen guys coming and getting scores. So I think as we take the break here, I think you'd have to St. Michael's in a very, very happy position at the moment if they can maintain this.
Yeah, well, Hegarty got a goal early on. That was his first goal in the championship this season. Up to then, he'd scored 2 points. Andy O'Connell also chipping in with a goal. So he's now 1-3 for the championship, and you'd expect more to come from these guys. What do O'Donovan and Rossa to do to get back into this game? And what do they need to do to get the ball in more twice? They have been able to work it down. They just haven't been able to make David Shannon's goal.
Yeah, I think they really have to up it, because I think that their build up is too slow, and they're letting St. Michael's being able to filter back and be able to have that 7, 8, 9 players back there, and Skibbereen are finding it very, very tough to try and break through. Apart from the goal there early on that Skib got, St. Michael's have really composed themselves back in defence, and Skib will really have to. Their work rate has to increase, and their play from midfield in has got to be an awful lot quicker moving. So work to be done for Skib. St. Michael's in a good position at the moment.
Since the goal, Skibbereen have conceded 4 in a row, 4 scores in a row. So that kind of tells you the story of this game so far. Sometimes stats aren't deceptive. Tom Lenihan. Options left and right, but he backs himself and gets through a gap. What a run that is. They had their eye on goal again. Was that a foot block? Mark O'Keefe attempting the shot. It is at the very least a 45.
Yeah, it's a 45, yeah. I think a massive run there from Billy Kane. Their halfbacks are really thundering forward there, and Daniel Meany there, as we've seen from the first period, getting a great score as well. But Skib don't seem to be able to counteract the guys moving from these directions, and look, they'll need to tie it down quickly, Skib, or else they could be in more serious trouble. And there is quite a stiff enough breeze here. Maybe it's certainly favouring Skib here in the first half of this game. So St. Michael's now have a 45, and maybe I don't know whether he'll be able to get the distance again, the breeze, but certainly it is a chance.
Ty DC fancies this one. They're in confident form, St. Michael's. Had the elevation, but didn't have the accuracy.
Yeah, it just
4th wide for St. Michael's.
Yeah, just a pity there. Probably could have made more use of that from maybe a short kick in. And maybe it's for Michael's now to kind of they are dominant. They need to put some more scores on the board.
Ryan Price gives this one plenty. Great take, well taken. Donal O'Connell with the mark. Would you like to have had the mark when you were playing?
Yeah. Look, it's fine. It's trying to improve the game as regards the skills of the game. I'm always a firm believer in is the kickouts, and we've seen from both sets of goalies 90% of the kickouts are going long, and we see there now from Tygo there now. Fantastic catch there, and isn't it brilliant to see the feeling around the middle of the field.
Can't give me a text message. He says no pressure. At the home of West Cork football. Joseph, I hope we're doing the club justice. The ball is skipped down into that Michael's forward line again, and again it's Eric Hegarty out in front, and again he's able to get the offload away. It's not overly accurate, but it does. One of multiple sports stars involved in St. Michael's. Adam Hennessy has to kick it towards the corner to try and keep it alive and hope one of his teammates runs onto it, but it's Darren Daly who gets there. He's under real pressure here from Dan Lenihan. Lenihan fouls Daly, and it will be a free out to O'Donovan Rossa. We mentioned there Andy O'Connell and his brother Owen, very good soccer players. You've also got Simon Zebo, who would have played football for Michael's and hurling for Blackrock. You've got Damien Delaney, who would have played minor for Cork. multiple sports stars. And
Yeah.
I'm missing a few there as well. Damien O'Connell as well, I suppose. Here comes Kevin Hurley. Dylan Horahan. Into the hands of Paulie Crowley.
No.
Donlow Hodnett. Hognett was in heavy
Yeah,
traffic, but he did pop it off to Horahan, who pops it over.
Yeah. Good score there, very patient build up. Again, Donlow, very influential there in just having the patience and the composure just to wait and give the right pass off. And a good score. Skibbereen needing it badly.
There, the multiple sports stars that St. Michael's and Blackrock have. Michael Mulconroy won't forgive me because he's one of those, the former Cork City player. He's a selector with this current St. Michael's crop, and he played junior football himself this morning. At the age of 41, he scored 1-4. Here comes David Shannon. He's already got a goal.
Good score.
And now he had
to get a few more scores there before half time.
Ball just gets away from Elliot Connolly. Well taken by Daniel Meany. Chased down by Dylan Horahan, who just kicked over that lovely score. It was exquisite. DC steps inside. DC gets his shot away. DC gets a really good score.
Yeah, that's a touch of class there now. On his left, he was dummied a couple of players, and then onto his right, kicked a fantastic score. And it's really settled St. Michael's again after Skib getting the last two scores. It's a good settling point for St. Michael's again.
I met Tony Davis, who's part of the backroom team for O'Donovan Rossa before the game. He said, "You've travelled a long way for this. Worth every kilometre of it." What a game so far. What a match. And Larry, it's more than realistic to think these two could meet again later down the road.
Yeah, sure, wouldn't it be great, because both of them are out there to play real good football, and both of them have a fantastic energy from the backs to the forwards. Like, they're really showing for the ball very well, and I think looking at both teams, I think they're very strong. Who knows, they could meet again. Yep.
Into the corner it goes. Well taken, Adam Hennessy. Hennessy takes on his man Fitzgerald. Checks back. That'll be squeezed over by Granger.
Yeah, good score again. Like, again, we see it from the difference in the two teams is that Michael's moving the ball much quicker, off their hand much quicker, and guys coming, willing to run, willing to put in the effort to get there, and another great score.
Well taken by Byrne, but he's marked heavily by Andy O'Connell. Byrne just lumps it down the park. Connolly might be able to get there. He's going to be beaten to it. Really tidy defending. Kane. Their warm-up was intense and it was tight, St. Michael's. They're looking every bit of that on the pitch at the moment. Intense in a good way. Sometimes intensity can be a bad thing. You can be too intense, but you can't play too intense, if that makes sense. Here's Andy O'Connell. You don't want to be too tense out there. You want to be relaxed enough to play. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, here comes Adam Hennessy.
Oh, yeah.
Too relaxed there.
Well, it would have been a fantastic score. It was a great move. Again, very patient. Guys coming off the shoulder, willing to work hard, and very, very impressive by St. Michael's at the moment if they can hold this. But no one skipped. They won't lie down too easy.
The intended target from the fist of Hegarty there was Connolly, but he misdirected it and it goes out wide. Dave Egan, the manager, singling Liam Granger out for some praise there, and rightfully so. Slips through the hands of Donlow Hodnett, taken up by O'Keefe. Kane. That is brilliant from Tom Lennon. What I really like about both of these teams is they're not afraid to take each other on in one-on-one battles. They're not afraid to just run that football. Buckley. Lovely pass inside. Could have taken on the shot. O'Keefe instead he passed it. It might still work out.
Chance here. Yeah, goal.
And that's buried. That's a lovely tidy finish.
No.
It came to him more by accident than design, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he did the job.
Yeah, I think Oisin, like the difference, like if the wholehearted work rate of the St. Michael's team, like from you see they're a massive run again from their number 7 there, Billy Kane again. Getting attacking, lovely ball up, and guys coming like from midfield, they're making themselves available. And again, a brilliant pass across and a brilliant finish. We've seen some fantastic goals here today in Ballineen.
Adam Hennessy getting the latest one. It was a really, really nice finish. And I know that he got a bit of luck regards how the ball came to him. Was that a foul just outside the square? Referee says no.
No, I think it was just a tussle that you'd have. It would have been a soft free, I think, if you had to give it. But St. Michael's again, you can see the appetite in the St. Michael's. Like, they're running off the ball, they're running off the shoulder, they're giving great ball inside and towards, and the link-up play is really, really impressive from
Granger
St.
and
Michael's.
Hennessy linking up there. Granger bringing it close to goal. He's at a tight angle, so
great
he
score.
just does the right thing and fists it over.
Yeah. This O'Sheen, I think it's very, very impressive first half from St. Michael's. Very impressive, and if they can maintain this, well, you know, they'll certainly be the team to beat in this championship.
3 scores in a row for Michael's. One of those a goal. It's really given them a foothold in this game. 3-6. That's 14 points when you make the conversion. O'Donovan Rossa 1-4. Donalogue Hodnett. Great to see him back playing football because he has been through it injury-wise, and we know how talented he is.
Yeah, I know. It's myself from injuries, and it's frustrating, and particularly when you have a quality player of Donalogue, like, and isn't it great to see him out there showing the vast amount of skills he has, and really playing very well there. He's really been probably the go-to man for Skib to try and get a few scores, and here he is on the ball again, Ocean.
And like so many clubs, their numbers are boosted by the fact that players couldn't go away this summer. So this is a good chance for them this year. And that's a good shot from Rory Byrne.
Oh, it's gone wide.
Oh, it's not actually. It goes wide. I was talking to one or two of their selectors before the game, and they said, look, we have 4 or 5 lads that we wouldn't have had only for COVID. They just couldn't emigrate, and it's sad for them. And, you know, we'd love for them to go out into the world and do their thing, because that's what young guys and young girls do. But you have to take advantage of the situation when it happens like that. And for a lot of clubs, this is a unique season that they'll have players that they wouldn't have had access to before. What a one-handed catch by Billy Kane.
Yeah. He's been very impressive. The half-back line of St. Michael's have been very, very impressive. Like, full of energy, always available and attacking when they see fit to attack. Really very impressive from the half-back line of St. Michael's. Here we are getting through again, St. Michael's.
O'Connell bulldozing, but he overcarried it.
Yeah.
It was a lovely ball sprayed across to him by Liam Granger. Hazel goes out to Sean Fitzgerald. Skipping ball down the line for Hegarty. Can't keep hold of it first time. Does get it up second time, much to his credit. Player running in behind. David Shannon is completely unmarked, but he'll carry it in himself and just pop it over.
Yep.
Had he got the ball away a little bit quicker there, David Shannon was in on goal, and they could really do with it.
Working tremendously hard as well. And, you know, they've had a few wides, but the wind has been tricky here. But, you know, they've got some fantastic scores, like massive link-up play.
We'll resume with the free to Skib. I didn't see the black card being popped over by Dylan Horahan. You're always afraid to commit to making a comment on possible black card decisions as a commentator, because sometimes you see the same offence punished differently.
Well, that's it. It's a very grey area, isn't it? And I just don't like to see it myself. I just think that it's there can be tussles, but it's very unfortunate for a player.
Jersey tug and a free for St. Michael's. Tugging the jersey there was Rory Byrne. On the loop is Tom Lenihan. Pops it inside. Bit of a 50-50 ball. We're not used to seeing that from St. Michael's today, and it still might work out for them through hard work and determination. Swept back to Eric Hegarty. Andy O'Connell is there as an option. Instead he switches. Plays the 1-2. Mark O'Keefe into injury time at the end of the first half. Is there another score there for St. Michael's? That's a free in. That was a free out.
Yeah, he's given a bit unusual because went for the ball. It was kind of like a third-man challenge coming in tough him, but the referee has decided it's a free for Skib.
What did you make of that first half?
So look, you have to be mightily impressive with St. Michael's. Like, they have all the levels of energy. They're showing for the ball great. Their backs are well on top, and you know, they're creating some massive chances. Like a very, very impressive 30 minutes from St. Michael's, and Skibbereen on the other hand are just they're just they don't seem to have that work rate in the levels of St. Michael's, and their options, like when they get the ball, they're very slow moving out of defence, and certainly around midfield, like their forwards are finding it very, very difficult to try and get any kind of a grace anywhere. Don Loke showing well on the
They certainly do. We will be back with second half commentary very shortly. You'll still see the picture, but you won't hear the sound. Half time here in Enniskeane. It is St. Michael's 3-6, O'Donovan Rossa 1-6. Hope you're enjoying this game of Cork Senior Football Championship. And of course, either way, whoever loses goes through to the next round, but whoever wins will go to the semi-final. Whoever loses will play in the quarter-final. So both teams progress, we know that for certain, but it's about who will progress and how. At the moment it's St. Michael's who are looking good to reach a semi-final directly. St. Michael's 3-6, O'Donovan Rossa 1-6, and we'll be back with second half commentary very shortly, so stay with us.
well done.
Welcome back for the second half of this Cork Senior Football Championship encounter between O'Donovan, Rossa and St Michael's. O'Donovan, Rossa, former All-Ireland club champions, but that was a long, long time ago, back in 1993. At the moment, they're trying to get up to the top tier of Cork football. Now, even if they lose today, that's still a possibility, because as we say, the winner will go direct into the semi-final. The loser today will end up in the quarter-finals, and there is more than ample evidence to suggest that these two could be contesting the final. That seems to be what everyone is saying anyway, that I spoke to about these two teams. But it being sport, you never know. Referee gets us going again. And O'Donovan and Rossa have a bit of work to do because they trail 3-6 to 1-6. On the takeoff now is
free in
Byrne.
for Skip out.
It's a beautiful sunny day here in Eskeen. O'Donovan, Rossa, well, they got a lovely goal in the first half through David Shannon, but they did struggle to get scores. They went 13 minutes at one spell without a point. They did get 4 points after the water break. And they've made a change. Kevin Davis has come in. Probably would have started only for injury. Don's son. And that zips over.
Score, yeah.
That's a good point. And you can see David Shannon inside with the hands on the head, because that one was very, very close to finding the net. But look, O'Donovan and Rossa, for them that's better than nothing, because as we say, they've gone long periods of this game without scores.
Yeah, that was a great score there, and typical of his father Don, like same movement, direct, and just maybe what Skib needed is someone like that to be able to take St Michael's defence on. So great score.
Andy O'Connell measures that one nicely to Tyke Deasy, or was it Adam Hennessy? O'Donovan and Rossa come down the pitch. Surging run from Sean Fitzgerald. Horahan. Well taken by David Shannon. Shannon looking for runners off the shoulder inside. It's Kevin Davis. Davis shaking off his man, going into a crowd, but getting it away to Donlogue Hodnett. Hodnett pops it back inside to Hegarty. And they've got the goal that they really, really wanted.
Yeah,
well finished from Thomas Hegarty, but a good move overall from the O'Donovan Rossa forwards. Horahan and Shannon both involved there, along with Donlogue Hodnett.
Yeah, brilliant goal. Again, problems caused again by Kevin Davis. Like, just his movement and his ability to go at the defence caused numerous of problems again. So, great start now for Skib. So, we're seeking to build on it.
Meany was involved there. Andy O'Connell was waiting for it, but it was intercepted. A little bit casual at the start of the second half from St Michael's, and a foul committed on Rory Byrne, and Skibbereen with the chance to launch it.
Yeah, you just find there with St Michael's like that, it's probably just been an Achilles heel there in the last few years. Like, is that, you know, when a team plays so well in the first half, they're after come, maybe they might have patted themselves on the back a bit too much at half time, so they need to just find their feet here again. Skib seem to be on the up, and certainly coming out with all guns blazing in the second half.
The reason the free is delayed is because Thomas Hegarty, who's just got the goal, has gone down to the ground, but he's back up. He's okay. The ref is just having a quick word. And it will be David Shannon who'll take the free. Goes short. He made the run, maybe expecting it back, but it's still in Horahan. Shane O'Driscoll drags it wide.
No. Yeah, good chance for Skib there. Good build up. Nice short free return taken, but probably a chance like that. Probably it could have been taken. So missed opportunity by Skib there to reduce the margin even further. But St Michael's find it hard to get the ball in possession and get down the field. So they will be hoping to get this kick out. But yeah, St Michael's have it, and they're building from the back again.
St Michael's have never won what you call the top tier championship, but they have got to finals. Back in the 70s they contested more than one. Unfortunately for them, didn't win it. The club itself has been through a bit of a journey in hurling and football, but that journey looks to be going in a good direction at the moment, and just as I say that, they give away a free.
Yeah, an unusual decision there. You see the St Michael's guys seem to be dragged back. don't know who it was now, just across the field from us there, but an unusual decision there, and Skib have the free out here.
Back to the keeper it goes. There was a bit of a breeze in the first half. It's died down a little bit. Dylan O'Donovan getting on the ball. And now Skib running up the park. Well worked. He was out in front and it was popped off to Horan, who looks inside to David Shannon. Shannon has runners inside, including Donal Codnett. He's got to go back outside to Dylan Horan. That's risky from that angle. Oh, it comes off the woodwork. Who's going to react first? Getting there is Hegarty. He's already got one goal. He might have just set up a second. Was there a foot block? Bounces around. Ball in Skibbereen hands. It squirts out. And it's planted home by Darren Daly. The green flag has gone up. We don't have VAR. The referee turns and walks away. That suggests that he's happy. And Darren Daly has got a goal that makes it a 1-point game.
This is incredible. 5 minutes of this start to the second half.
Joseph Blake was right. This is the home of football. I know it's St. Mary's who play here, and it's not St. Mary's involved today. But if every game of football here is as good, let's play all the games in Enniskeane.
That's right. The Lord of Mercy and Bozo would be delighted with that, but he would be certainly thrilled to be at this match and seeing massive excitement. And again, fair play to Skib. They're after coming out of the blocks quick here and really taking the game by the scruff of the neck here in the second half.
Hazel gathers. He's fouled. Tried to go over the top for Darren Daly, who's in confident form, having just rattled the crossbar. In any code, a goal that goes in off the crossbar is pretty sweet, isn't it?
Well, they don't care what way they go in, but they go in, that's the main thing. But look, St. Michael's just haven't realised that the second half is after starting, because Skib are on the attack here again and looking dangerous, and Shanahan has it again, tipped off, and that's Horan.
This to level it. Oh, it goes wide.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. A brilliant move again. Shanahan shown brilliantly inside. Massive pass out, and unlucky they didn't even put 2 points, go 2 points ahead there. It's incredible.
O'Donovan Rossa leading by a point. Leading on the wide count as well, if you want to phrase it that way. It's 6 wides for O'Donovan Rossa, 5 wides for St. Michael's.
It's amazing, like playing against a little bit of breeze, even though it's died down here, the breeze. But like both teams seem to have just in the first half, St. Michael seem to have just played so much better, like playing against that breeze. And second half now, Skib are doing the same, like finding much more space, room. But they've come out in the second half with totally different attitude, and their energy levels, they're really up for it. And you know, when it's down to win the game, these are the things that's most important: that desire and that commitment, and that really to die for every ball. Massive catch here in the middle of the field by St. Michael's.
Andy O'Connell, it was partially blocked there by Shane O'Driscoll. It does go to a green and gold jersey. Eric Hegarty inside. Dan Lenihan got a knock in the first half, but happily able to play on in the second. Where's that going to fall to? Jumping in there was Colin Fitzgerald. He just kind of got enough on it to get it down to a fellow red jersey, and now he's on it again, Colin Fitzgerald. Donal Codnett. Shane O'Driscoll. Remember, this game can end in a draw. Shannon calls the mark. Shannon rolls it inside to Sean Fitzgerald. Sean Fitzgerald lets it off. Donal Codnett. That was a wrong decision, I think, from Kevin Davis. It's easy to say when you're up here. Sean Fitzgerald drops short. Easy for Martin Burke. Andy O'Connell to Dan Lenihan. Running onto it, Daniel Meany. Scored a nice point in the first half. Pokes it out to the right-hand side. Keith Hegarty is on it. Keith Hegarty.
Good score, yep.
Very good point.
Yeah, something that St. Michael's really badly needed. Like, they're just all over the place there in the second half. And Skib, with the introductions of the Fitzgeralds there and Kevin Davis, have made a huge difference, like, to the second half. They're getting on the ball a lot, and certainly St. Michael's find it hard now to try and get to the same pitch as Skib. Skib really going well here, and again we have Dolan Hognett gaining possession there and feeding it off.
They needed that point, St. Michael's. They had gone 12 minutes without a score. Up until that score, O'Donovan Rossa had been leading for the first time since the 9th minute.
Yeah, they're through
again.
Running
Through
here.
the middle, it's Byrne.
Oh.
Just didn't catch it right.
Yeah, there's a bad miss there, like again, but like they're running in the second half much better from Skib. Like they're coming from every angle, and Michaels are just dead on their feet. Whether they expended so much energy in the first half, they're just not able to get up to the same level as the first half. But Skib well on top here now, and but an easy chance missed there.
Mark O'Keefe plays it into trouble. Rory Byrne. We do have to remember that there was 10 minutes in that first half where O'Donovan Rossa were down to 14. Neat turn from Daniel Hazel. Draws it down the line for Shane O'Driscoll. Lenihan gets a hand in. He doesn't give up on it, O'Driscoll. That is a brilliant piece of play. And he wins the free in. Donlow Codna tries to get going quickly, but referee stopped him up. It's Shane O'Driscoll again. Elliot Connolly. David Shannon. Shannon is fouled, free in.
Causing a lot of problems inside there in the full forward line, Shanahan. And more up for it now, Skib, like really up for it. And the intensity has really been so much different in the first half. Like when Skib kind of were just sitting back and not really being able to force themselves on the game. But like we seen there now from O'Driscoll, like the tenacity, the way he won that ball. And again, Shanahan inside, willing to take on his man. And this should be a point, a scoreable free here, and it should put Skib a point ahead.
Popped over by Dylan Horahan. O'Donovan Rossa back in front in what has been a seesaw and topsy-turvy second half so far, and just a really enjoyable game of football.
There seems to be a pull of the jersey over there. I don't know whether he's given no card. He's just moving the ball up there. Yeah, in fairness to both teams going out really playing football and really concentrating on getting the best out of themselves football-wise. Very entertaining game here. And St. Michael's here on the attack here now.
Tyke DC goes to meet it. Back to Lenihan it goes. Lenihan back outside. Keith Hegarty is unmarked around the square if they can spot him. It goes loose and Ryan Price will sweep this up. Byrne. The momentum certainly with Skibbereen, and they get the free out. Yellow card for Dan Lenihan. Paddy Crowley. Colin Fitzgerald. Back it goes to Paddy Crowley. Centre back gets his hands on it again. He's kind of controlling things back there, isn't he? Here's Sean Fitzgerald. Pokes it in ahead of O'Driscoll, who's beaten to it by Lenihan. Don't let him out is the call from the O'Donovan Rossa bench. Here's Andy O'Connell. Over the top it goes, one-on-one. Hand in there. Really good defending from Daniel Hazel. Taken well under pressure there, and down the wing it goes from Kevin Davis. Thomas Hegarty. He's already got a goal in the second half. Pops it off for Darren Daly, who's also found the net. But, well, that's off target, and I think I'm being kind by saying that.
Yeah, I think a very good move again by Skib though. Very forceful, good attack. Michaels find that their half back line not getting forward the same way as they did in the first half, and certainly they have no launching pad from the half back line in midfield, and their long balls in just not working out. Like Skib seem to have them well under control, like breaking the ball out there and again attacking. So I think St. Michael's need to play a bit more possession game to try and make runners come from midfield, and certainly their half back line need to get a bit more on top.
Martin Burke gives his kick out plenty, but it's stolen in the middle of the park. Calling for it is Rory Byrne. The disappointing thing for St. Michael's there was that it was caught completely freely. Don't look Hodnett is foul, it's a free in.
That was a brilliant catch there by wing back there for Skib there, Shane O'Driscoll. Really, really commanding. It was his ball all the way, and certainly every guy now in the Skibbereen team really upping their performance from a dismal, probably first half performance.
They work it short. Dylan Horahan is injured, but the referee says play on because there was no foul. Well, Donovan and Rossa have already scored 2-2 in the second half compared to just 1 point for St. Michael's. Liam Granger will try and do something about that. 2 points for him in the first half. O'Connell was running, but that's not the option he went with. He has to go backwards, Eric Hegarty. Hegarty trying to find a way through, but Rory Byrne just got his big arm in there, or was it Sean Fitzgerald? Either way, Skibbereen get the ball back. Here is Rory Byrne. Hazel. Hazel with plenty of options. Kevin Davis. Davis gets his shot away and it goes out for a 45. It could have found the corner there.
Yeah, the big difference there with Skib now in the second half is like Daniel Hazel there now and Shane O'Driscoll. They're really, really getting on top there in the half back line and really driving forward and creating loads of chances there. Kevin Davis will be disappointed like that he didn't get something out that looked like that he was really bearing down a goal and ready to fire the trigger. But in fairness, St. Michael's guy gets across and puts it out for a 45. So another opportunity here, and Shanahan is going to be the free taker.
Well, Kevin Davis is showing well, having come off the bench, injured in the last round, but fit enough to play his part here.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good forceful player. Oisin, he's really what you'd love about a forward, like low to the ground, gets it and willing to just go for goal. He's very, very threatening in there and really has caused numerous problems. Here's the kick now from Shanahan. It's going again.
Shannon kicks it wide. The breeze maybe caught it a bit. As we say, it's not what you'd call a straightforward breeze. It's going crossfield a bit. And we're at the water break, and it has been a real struggle in the second half for St. Michael's. They've only scored 1 point, so Donovan Ross have scored is it 2-2 in the second half. They're looking good at the moment. They have the momentum. What can St. Michael's do to respond? How do they get control of this one again? They're only 1 point down.
Yeah, I think that they just have to show now, like that probably maybe over the last few years, like that maybe that what they had lacked, that just a little bit more composure on the ball. Like I think they're kicking too long when they should be going short and vice versa. So I think they just need to control the game a little bit more around the middle, and certainly their half back line needs to play the game a little bit more shorter, because Skibber getting loads of players behind the ball now, and if the ball does go in long, they're easy coming out with it, and they're setting up good attacks up the field. So I think it's a big quarter now for St. Michael's to see now. Have they learned anything from the last few years? Just a bit more composure, and I think they're still capable of winning this game. But at the moment, Skib have the momentum. They're fired up, and we'll just see now. It's going to be an interesting last quarter to see what comes out of this. But certainly very entertaining here. It's just an awful pity like that here in Ballineen that we don't have the supporters here to really see this quality game. And please God, looking at both teams, we've talked about it earlier, who knows, these two teams could meet later on. So fair play to both teams. It's been an outstanding game of football, and it's just been a pleasure to watch it here, and some great talent there on show.
Well, 15 minutes to go. Remember, we won't have extra time or penalties or any of that today because this is a group game. What we will have is a team going through to the semi-finals and a team going through to the quarter-finals. And St. Michael's are making a change. Coming in is Robbie Cotter, who's a dual player. Also coming in is Joe Golden.
Probably that's a good move by St. Michael's, like, because they're just a short of energy at the moment, and they probably need something from the bench, like to maybe to just fire them up a little bit. But Skib had a few talent substitutes at the start of the second half and has made a huge difference. So Michael's will be hoping like that they can do the same here.
Well, Donovan Rossa would top the group, by the way, if this ends in a draw, which is more than possible. Shane O'Driscoll. Donal Codnett. Elliot Connolly. A slip. Might let David Shannon through here. He's still got an awful lot of work to do. Kevin Davis is inside. Shannon. Blazes it over and wide. Well, it's, again, easy to say it from here where, you know, I've never miscued a pass. I've never taken the wrong option on the field. But Thomas Hegarty was standing there completely unmarked. And had he passed it to him, he'd a free run to goal. He could have fallen over with the ball. Well, he's not Joe Sheridan. He would have had to kick it into goal. But you know what I mean. Larry Tompkins, never one not to laugh at a Meath man when he gets the chance. Here's Andy O'Connell. Running onto it is Liam Granger.
One man inside him.
Free in one.
Yeah, that could be a crucial stage of the game there. Shanahan, he'd done everything right, like just cut inside his man brilliantly, and looked like it was only a matter of tipping the ball into the back of the net, but unfortunately just screwed the ball wide. And now we have St. Michael's now coming down the field, and an easy chance here for Tyg DC. And
just the second point of the second half for St. Michael's, but it's all square.
Poor return for a team like this that's after being so impressive in the first half, but just their energy levels way down, and I think maybe the introduction to those subs, hopefully for St. Michael's point of view, might make a bit of a difference. But Skib on the attack here.
Daly. Hegarty gets out in front but can't control it. Liam Granger. This is what they did well in the first half. They ran it well, and that's a supreme pass, a beautiful pass. Andy O'Connell thought about the shot, then said, you know what, it's too tight an angle. Here's Robbie Cotter. Mark O'Keefe. It opens up for O'Keefe. He has to go for it. He does. Doesn't catch it right.
Yeah, bad wide there. Missed opportunity. St. Michael's controlled it well. Got the opening. You know, right to have the shot, but just a wild shot and a bad wide.
Jogging out to it, Donal Codnett. A measured ball down the wing. They've done that an awful lot in the second half. Martin Bohan, their manager, will be happy. Dylan Horahan on his bike is Hegarty. He's dragged down and it's a free in. Daniel Meany impeded him, but illegally so.
Yeah, very impressive play there by Thomas Hegarty. You know, small in stature, but by God, he got that ball, knew only one direction, and you know, that's what you need at this stage, like guys to be able to just win those valuable frees and take on their men. And here we have a great chance here now for Kevin Davis, straight in front of the post, and ready to put Skib a point ahead.
Kevin Davis guides it over beautifully, and once again O'Donovan Rossa lead by one. An arm tug there on Mark O'Keefe, and it's a free. They wanted to get going quickly, but a sharp, shrill blast stopped them. And now the free has been turned over the other way. Or, well, a free has been given the other way, you know what I mean. Here's Kevin Davis again. What a difference he's made, by the way, Larry, for O'Donovan Rossa. We'll get to that point in a second because he's making his way to goal. Gives it to Shannon, who lets it off for Horahan. Horahan on his right.
Oh.
Couldn't guide it over.
Yeah. He's made Oisin, you're dead right. He's made a huge difference there. Kevin, he's just explosive pace off the mark and showing very well for the ball. But he's gave Skib the energy that they're really lacking in the first half. And what a difference one player can make, like in relation to just rejuvenating them. So he's been a real threat.
Mark O'Connell showing those soccer skills. Andy O'Connell, I should say, confusing him with his midfield partner Mark O'Keefe. But either way, they've lost it. And here comes Donalogue Hodnett. Bounces back up like a coil spring. Davis once again involved. Shannon goes to ground. He's got the free in.
A good shoulder charge there. I don't know. It looked. Maybe he was going down a bit when the St. Michael's player was coming in to tackle him. But a good traditional shoulder charge that you'd love to see a little bit more of happening in the games. But look, in fairness to both guys, they're getting attention at the moment. There's a yellow card given there, which maybe I think is a little bit harsh, but. Look, Skib have a free now, a very scoreable free, and Kevin Davis, who has been on fire there in the second half, certainly the right man to step up to it. So work for St. Michael's to do. They're finding hard to get the momentum going, and certainly that first half performance seemed to have taken their toll with them. But it's a test now to see what they can do now in the last 10 minutes.
Kevin Davis. Elliot Connolly was backing up into space, but Davis will be able to do the job all by himself. Another change being made. Emmett Sheehan comes in for St. Michael's. I think it's Tom Lenihan who's being called ashore. Or is it Mark O'Keefe? Mark O'Keefe. Dave Egan, the manager, was shouting Tom. He was just giving some instructions to Tom Lenihan. Lenihan off on a run. Daniel Meany. Ahead of him was Billy Kane. Kane drifted inside. Can he find a finish? No, just didn't measure it quite right.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, because the half-back line really have been struggling in the second half for St. Michael's. But in fairness to all three there, they were on that ball, and just unfortunate like that the ball dropped short. It would have been a good score and something that Michael's needed really. Skib on the attack here and really forceful now going forward. But Michael's are after intercepting, and this could be a chance for Michael's.
Dispossessing Elliot Connolly. Here's Lenihan. Dan as opposed to Tom. Adam Hennessy. Shoot is the shout at Adam Hennessy. He gives it a big one.
Looks all the way.
Oh, wow, what a score from Adam Hennessy. It seemed like it took an eternity to drop, but it got where it needed to go in the end.
Well, look, it's maybe something that's it's certainly what Michael's needed, and it was a fantastic score. Took the responsibility and really went for it. So, like, a massive score.
One between them. Skib lead. Free goes to O'Donovan Rossa, but I'm not quite sure. Got that last point.
Yeah, I think Tygdeasy, he's drifted out. He's out at centre forward or out to midfield, but it's Tygdeasy got that score. So apologies there, but a massive score that probably St. Michael's really needed at this stage.
Donalogue Hodnett. Kevin Davis. Hand in. Davis can't get possession. And it's a St. Michael's ball. Yeah, just confirming that last booming point was Tygdeasy, who's onto it again. DC down the line. Neat turn. Liam O'Sullivan. That's a good surge by Liam O'Sullivan. He has to cut back, but they do keep possession. Dan Lenihan snuck in around the square, but no one spotted him. Here's Tom Lenihan. Tom Lenihan, no mistaking it this time. And Tom Lenihan kicks it over, Tomas O'Shea style.
Yeah, it's a brilliant score by St. Michael's, but again, like Ty Deasy, the main man there, controlling things around. That's what they need now. It's a really this will be a massive win for St. Michael's if they can get this, because the last few years they've been probably struggling like to see these games over the line. And now we're at game time. But a brilliant catch here by Donlog.
All square. A result which may still suit O'Donovan and Rossa, because they'll finish top of the group. Trying to get over that is Joe Golden. He's fouled and it's a free out. Batted down by Paudie Crowley, a Gaelic Games Development Officer in the Carbery region. Dylan O'Donovan. O'Donovan has a look up, sees a red jersey in front of him. That's Hegarty. Trying to find a way through is Sean Fitzgerald. Playing keep ball at the moment, O'Donovan and Rossa. Here's Brian Crowley. Neat run by Rory Byrne. Rory Byrne. It has enough on it, and Rory Byrne puts his team in front.
Brilliant score again, and good patience by moving the ball from left to right and waiting their chance, and a brilliant score with Rory Byrne.
Michael's man takes it. He is one-on-one. That is Liam O'Sullivan. Numbers joining him now, trying to find a way through. He's turning and he's twisting and he's shooting, and it's Ty Deasy again. Well, he's got 2 buttes in the second half.
Yeah, when you want leadership, that's what you need. You need the guys to step up to it. And he looked like he probably might have overdid it there, but look, he had the patience and the control and made sure. What a score. Brilliant score. He's after getting 2 fantastic points there in the second half, and they really counted. So, really in the balance here now.
Donlog Hodnett. It's like a magnet to his hands. Rory Byrne, who had put his team in front. That lead didn't last very long. Shane O'Driscoll will do something about restoring it if he can. O'Driscoll and Dylan Horahan now. Kevin Davis wanted it, but instead he'll give it to Byrne. Dylan Horahan. It's like a training game of kind of passing triangles and running off the ball. Here's Rory Byrne. It's a risky one towards Hegarty. Shannon is also there. Hazel. Oh, Hazel, just a heavy touch, but regathers much to his credit. Here's Byrne. Lovely pass. He squeezes it to Davis. Davis shakes off his man. It's opened up for him. Yeah. Did the right thing by taking his point.
Yeah, it didn't look the most prettiest, but Skib held possession really, really well there. It looked tricky at times. St. Michael seemed to have them going backwards, but again, that man we've talked about, they made a huge difference in the second half. Kevin Davis had the patience, had the control, and gets the score to put Skib ahead.
Andy O'Connell got his hands on it, skipped it off to Robbie Cotter. Robbie Cotter down the line to another sub, Keith Hegarty. That's well taken on the run by Liam O'Sullivan. Liam O'Sullivan's jersey is tugged there by Paudie Crowley. He still gets his shot away and puts it over.
Yep.
It's all square again.
Yeah, I think in fairness, the referee gave him the advantage, and I think he would have pulled it back for a free. His jersey was pulled, but what a score, great score.
Well, they've made 3 or 4 substitutions, and those players have brought in an energy, haven't they?
Yeah, there was something that they needed, Oisin, and we talked about there. They just seemed to be a bit flat, St. Michael's there, but certainly the 2 or 3 subs have made a huge difference, like coming off the bench.
Dylan O'Donovan. Darren Daly. Daly outside. Shane O'Driscoll. Hazel. Good play by Hazel. Fitzgerald had an option in front to pass it, but he didn't want to take the risk. Horan into the path of Colin Fitzgerald. Colin Fitzgerald. That's a free and a potential winning score coming here for O'Donovan Rossa, although in this game you don't want to say for certain.
Oh, it is nip and tuck. It would be nearly unfair to both teams like if somebody come out here with a win. But again, fair play to Skip. They were patient. They worked the ball well up the field and created the chance for a score. And again, this is probably an easy tap over for Kevin Davis.
Davis gives O'Donovan Rossa the 1 point lead. Burke is looking for options. He needs to hurry it up because whatever Michaels do, they have to do it quickly. It's all over and O'Donovan Rossa win it by a point. What a dramatic encounter. What a game. They looked out of it at half time, but in fairness to them, they really turned it on in the second half. Got a couple of goals early in that second half and they never let up, much to St. Michael's credit. They came back at them having, I suppose, been bossed in the early part of the second half, but it wasn't enough in the end. The final score, 3-13 O'Donovan Rossa, 3-12 St. Michael's. Larry Tompkins, what did you make of that?
Well, look, it was a massive game, and look, you'd feel sorry for St. Michael's. Like they had a hell of a first half, but great credit to Skib. Like they come out there, they showed the true spirit that they have down there, and look, they battled tremendously there in the second half. Their work rate, their energy. And look, we were thrilled to a fantastic game of football. Some great scores from both sides. And look, who knows, Oisin, we'll probably be seeing these two teams again later on in the year. And what two better teams that could meet again? We'd really look forward to another challenge with these lads.
It's a bit of a cliched question, but you always ask of the losing team, will they learn from this? I think it's a genuine question, though, as well as an unoriginal one here. Michaels will learn from this, won't they?
Well, without a doubt, and look, they can take an awful lot from it. Of course, they're disappointed. We see them down here in front of us now. Their heads are down and they're a bit disappointed. But, they're not out of the championship in a quarter final now. And maybe the extra game hopefully will bring them on even further. But, there'll be different question marks still in St. Michael's. Like these close games, like it'll haunt them again, looking back probably at the last few years, like the county finals, and just probably missing the boat on a number of those occasions. Yeah. That's still.
It's about bringing it into adult level because they've done it at underage level. They've won titles, but this is the one they want. They want to be playing in the top tier of Cork football.
Yeah, and they're quite capable of doing it. Like as we see in there, they can match anybody. Like, but it's just like that winning mentality, like that you probably need, and that little bit more, probably that confidence that you get from maybe winning tight games and close games, and probably you'll be hoping like that it doesn't get into their minds. But as we know from St. Michael's, like to keep coming back, to keep battling away, and look at they can match any team at this level, and certainly they're going forward. It's just that they're a bit disappointed today, maybe that they didn't get a win.
Well, the credit goes to O'Donovan Rossa today in the middle of the pitch there, applauding Dave Egan, the manager of St. Michael's, as he jogs back to his own men. What did they do right in the second half that they didn't get right in the first half?
Simple things, like they came out there in the first half and they were just, as we looked at, like they were just completely dead. Like their energy levels were way off. They just weren't at the races. Like, and Michaels were just controlled it from start to finish really in that first half. But second half, I suppose, like there was a lot of harsh words said at half time, and basically they come out and they worked together as a team. They worked harder. Their energy was up. Guys were looking for the ball, and of course what we mentioned during the course of the game, their introduction of the subs. The two Fitzgeralds made a big difference there. But the main man to come on that has really showed the leadership was Kevin Davis. Like, and he was very, very influential there up front. And when you have a player like that coming off the bench, and the player he is, like, of course he's going to lift the other players around him, and he was a massive, and of course Donlow hadn't, like, how many times did we see him like coming there and collecting kickouts and winning balls in the air, and he was a very influential figure as well. So like they have a few great leaders on the field, and maybe at the end of the day, maybe that might have been a little bit of a difference, like to winning the game. But again, equally, like you look at the likes of Tyke DC up front there for St. Michael's, kicked two magnificent scores, and certainly it would have lifted any team, but unfortunately it was Gibbs' day, and they're down there in West Cork, and they're not an easy team to beat. So I think both teams will leave today in a good, positive frame of mind and moving forward. Skip now in the semi-final, St. Michael's in the quarter-final, and what a treat we'd have if they meet again.
And they really could. I mean, the odds are fairly short on them both reaching the final. Kevin Davis, you mentioned there, he came off the bench in the second half. He scored 4 points in the last 15 minutes. He really, took on the mantle, didn't he? And he ran at St. Michael's. He created and he scored. At the start of the second half, Michael's had a 6-point lead. They were 3-6 to 1-6 up going into that second period. But O'Donovan Rossa scored 2-2 before the water break. Darren Daly's 35th minute goal gave them the lead for the first time since the 9th minute in this game. The sides were level 5 times in the second half. It just tells you what kind of game this was. O'Donovan Rossa had 10 wides. St. Michael's had 6. They had a couple towards the end of the game that really cost them, I suppose. And O'Donovan Rossa obviously had that black card in the first half, and at that stage it didn't look good for them. But look, they pulled it out of the bag. They are marching on, as are St. Michael's. They're just taking different routes. The final score, O'Donovan Rossa 3-13, St. Michael's 3-12. Michael's down but not out. O'Donovan Rossa, like them, will march on, and they will take an awful lot from this game. Larry Tompkins, my thanks to you. My thanks to everyone who is watching at home. More coverage to come over the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out on the Irish Examiner's social media channels, and of course the print edition, the paper itself. From Inniskeen, it is goodbye.